Welcome back to Legally Speaking with Rest the Case, where we dive into the evolving world of law and justice. In today's world, we're exploring a topic that's reshaping the legal landscape as we know it: how technology is changing legal practice. From AI driven legal research tools to virtual courtrooms and blockchain contracts, technology is not just an add on anymore. It's becoming the backbone of modern legal work. But what does this mean for lawyers, clients, and the justice system at large? Are we looking at greater efficiency and access to justice, or are there new challenges lurking in this digital shift? To unpack all of this, we've joined by Advocate Narender Singh, who is a dedicated legal professional with 4+ years of experience practicing across all districts and the High Court of Delhi. Specializing in criminal law and NDPS cases, he handles a wide array of both criminal and civil matters for a diverse clientele. So, whether you're a legal professional, a tech enthusiast, or someone curious about where the law is headed in this digital era, stay tuned. You won't want to miss this. So, welcome, Advocate Narendra. To start with, can you give us a little bit of your background? Where do you stand in the legal field or your experience?
I graduated from Faculty of Law from University of Delhi in 2020, and right after I enrolled in State Bar Council, and thereafter I joined a senior. And from the last 2 years, I am practicing independently, and most of my clients are implicated in criminal cases with whom I am representing before different courts. And specifically the cases that I am doing it like in sophisticated criminal trials, like the people who are facing charges by sophisticated agencies like NCB, NIA, and CBN. And other than that, like I'm having miscellaneous matters, like other conventional criminal miscellaneous matters. And and I'm a young lawyer, so like just dealing with it and thriving my experience in the field of law.
So coming to then the topic of today, how have you seen legal practice evolve over the years, particularly with the rise of technology?
The very moment I started my legal practice is the time when the COVID was in the air, and due to which, like, this country have been suffering from this lockdown. And in the lockdown, a lot of remarkable changes has been happened. And like the biggest technological advancement in the legal profession is that now the virtual conferences has been started, which became very convenient for the lawyer, because earlier it used to be the time when the lawyer has to face a lot of problem, that he couldn't be at the two different courts at the same time. He who couldn't like appear, and he had to manage like over there, had to be there physically. But in today's, I think a lot of legal research AI engines have came up into the picture. Then automation in legal work is also being there. Like there are certain AI tools which has been introduced in the last 2 3 years, which has made conveniently very easy when it comes to contract drafting, when it comes to drafting a particular structure about any PIL or any appeal or any writ petition. So these things have been done. Then I think has technology improved the client lawyers communication as well, as like most of the time I also do my meetings through online mode, as it used to be happen in the old school way when the people used to come up in the chambers in the office of a lawyer. So I think like these things have made things very convenient and very new to this profession, and very important as well for a lawyer to be equipped with.
Right. So, how do you think legal research has changed with tools like AI and online databases?
When it comes to legal technological advancement, I think the legal research itself have become easy, and now like we have like a lot of tools available in SEC Manupatra. There are things that we can do. Then we have e-discovery tools which very much makes easy to find exact case laws that would be applicable on our cases. Then documentation and AI contract review is a very new thing, like document or automation tools when it comes to like this contract express, hot docs. So these things, like, have made very easy when it comes to create standard journal contracts and cloud-based case management system. I think there has been a time when there's been files like the people have been managing. There have been people who have been storing them. Managing such a huge data with a huge number of files in a physical way would have been very tough. So then, other than that, I think e-signatures has been introduced, and it has been well acknowledged in IT Act as well that they're completely valid. Dispute resolutions and so on and so forth.
Right. So you were talking about automation. So how do you think automation and AI-driven tools such as legal GPTs, do you think they will replace traditional legal work, or will they just be an addition to traditional legal work? What's your opinion on that?
Well, when it comes to see, this very field of AI is growing, and currently, what they would be capable of in future, that we cannot say anything. But in today's time, what is available, I think in a way, I think when it comes to like this question that these AI driven tools would be able to replace the traditional legal work. At that time, in some way they had, as I have told you about the legal research in contract drafting, there used to be a researcher who have been spending a lot of more time going through entire database and all. Now the AI can do it like in few clicks. So in a way, yes, they had done. But when it comes to decision making, and especially as a criminal lawyer, if I would say, I don't think so. Like AI for today's time, what is available in today's technology would be considers this very emotional, would be able to understand this emotional intelligence, empathy, and understanding the human motivations. So in those scenarios, especially in criminal law, a judge and a lawyer need to understand these all things, and AI is not that capable of in today's thing. So for now it has not been done. And as far as my knowledge is concerned, I think even in the future, in certain aspects, the AI is also going to generate jobs. It's going to make our work very convenient. But would it be able to replace this entire structure where we would not be uh, we would not be need the physical, like the people who are having the actual emotions, actual empathy in them? Then answer is, I think, no.
Okay. So, talking about when you were talking about there will be an aspect which is not replaceable, but in this, with the advent of AI, do you think there is a change in how lawyer and client communication works? Is there a shift in that, or do you see a shift in that happening?
Yes, I have already mentioned that that obviously that shift have been came, and especially when it comes to the technology plays a very pivotal role, and in this like legal services and making more affordable and efficient accessible to a broader population. So yes, when it comes to meeting, then yes, it makes it like pretty easy for a person who is sitting very far to talk to a lawyer who is sitting anywhere in the world. He may have a consultation through like in an online mode with that person, which have reduced the cost. And obviously, when it comes to expanding the access through a remote legal services, then even in that, I think these virtual consultation and this tele-law consultations has also been introduced, where even the lawyers are giving consultations on phone and through online as well. And obviously, when it comes to online dispute resolutions, that has also been happening in different international arbitration centers. It has also been introduced where different part of firms are sitting together virtually and trying to resolve the issues among them. Then yes, like the answer is yes. I think when it comes to about the virtual conferences and all, then yes, a very big shift have been came up in the last 5 to 7 years.
Right. So we've till now been talking about how AI is good or how it can help lawyers with their work. But what about some of the challenges? If you can walk us through that, what challenges do you see lawyers facing while using AI for their work?
Well, I think we this thing is very new to us, and a specific training is for that is required. Because as far as like I'm still in the touch with a lot of law schools where the students are studying, and when it's about to dealing with the practical and the actual problems that we lawyers face in today's time, then we are not that very equipped with this technological advancement which has been done in the recent past. Before that, I think a training is the very basic thing which is required to be done. Other than that, there are chances that we would be that much reliable on the technology that we may not be able to do the proofreading of the things, because in the field of law, whatever you are doing that's having the legal implications, the stakes are very high in this profession, because ultimately you're representing the interest of someone. So that's why it's make it as a very noble profession. So I think in that scenario, uh, yes, like the challenges would be a particular training is required, and how much we could rely upon a particular platform or a software. So I think that authorization and how much a company or any particular authority approves it, these parts are required to be seen.
Right. And coming to, challenges, we also come to the part about ethical and security concerns over technology, use of AI in law. So, how do we ensure confidentiality, data security under, in legal tech?
Well, when it comes to about the data security, then as again, I'll say the same thing as I've just stated, that it's a very new thing, and for that, an authorization, approval, legal framework is required. So, first of all, I think there are technologies. It's not like they are not there. The very much is the end-to-end encryption, that the data are supposed to be encrypted, and how like are they going to maintain the confidentiality in it? How are they going to challenge this data security through use of encryption? These parts are going to be a big challenge, and I think in upcoming times a particular legal framework and an authority is required to be instituted, so that like these access control, authentication, and when it comes to this continuous monitoring and auditing, these parts are required to be taken care of. And yes, when it comes to about the AI specific security consideration, then I think data integrity, like legal AI tools rely on the vast of databases, and how like how which of the database is like that relevant, which is not, and these parts are required to be seen. Yes, I think.
Right. Also coming to then, with AI, everyone's saying that the work is going to become faster. Um, Probably won't need as many lawyers in a firm. So what do you think about that? Do you think jobs will become obsolete in the legal space? And even then, if there are lesser jobs and work is faster, then will the fees of lawyers also reduce?
Well, as like AI is gonna make things convenient, then yes, in a way, the jobs in some way is gonna be reduced. And yes, like AI is gonna take over, and that is not just happening in the legal field, that is happening all across in different professions as well. But at the same time, when this thing is being instituted, so there is going to be different challenges as well. I have just encountered in the previous questions that there would be people who needs to manage it. There would be people who needs to train us into certain things. So jobs are going to be reduced and job is going to be created. And this AI is nothing as like this. Obviously, it's a very, very when it comes to AI, then it's an artificial intelligence. We have been using technology, and technology has replaced people earlier as well in the different part of the world in different professions. Now an intelligent artificial intelligence has been going to do the same, but at the same time in different ways it's also going to create the jobs.
Right. So how do you see the future of legal tech in the next 5 to 10 years? How do you see it evolving?
See, when it's come to, as a remarkable shift has already been done, where virtual conferences, contract drafting, legal research all have become very easy. There has been a time when the lawyers have been spending a much more time in certain exercise, which was very standard, and now AI is doing it very, very fast. So now the question comes up, like, where is the most of the time of the lawyer is going to be invested? So at that time, I think a new legal frame is required to be instituted. And at the same time, uh, I also believe, this very thing supposed to be uh, that there's supposed to be an advantage like in the society and as well as in the profession, that we may use it, like we may utilize it properly. And I think apart from court, these dispute resolution and you know these things supposed to be promoted because it's a very populated country with a lot of dependencies. Then yes, I think with the help of it a lot of dependencies can be reduced. And at the same time, uh, like the lawyers can invest their time in learning more new skills, because as they have been now, like it's gonna be a new game, like it's gonna be entirely a new field. So how it's gonna be, and how it's gonna make the legal work faster, and how we are be able to give the maximum, like the output to the clients, that part is required to be, you know with the time, like I think that's required to be seen.
Okay, and thinking about some of the law firms or lawyers who are hesitant to, adopt uh, technology or embrace technology in their day-to-day work, what advice would you like to give them?
Well, I think smarts call, like smart start small and focus on the high impact. I think that's my one line to as a response to these law firms, because those law firms and lawyers who are hesitant to embrace technology, uh, I think the very key to overcoming the resistance and the lies understanding the technology is not a threat. First of all, that very thought is required to be instituted in them. Then I think understand the competitive advantages. In case you would not learn it, there are chances that you would not be have that very exponential growth that the other law firms and other people who are using them is happening. So it's a call, and they have to take it. And other than that, I think uh, when it comes to the cost reduction, when it comes to meeting your client expectations, then I think with this very time, these technologies, these tools are required to be instituted in every law firm. And I think highlight the technology's role in reducing the stress and burnout, because it's a profession which where the it's sometimes it's very stressful. Sometimes people are burnout, and I think AI is going to reduce that. So these law firms needs to introduce these AI tools and these things in their in their work life balance. So yeah, I think like these are the things.
Okay. And I believe you've already spoken about, next generation lawyers having to develop certain skills to stay relevant in this tech-driven legal space, right? So I think that's also a very important thing that the upcoming lawyers need to upskill themselves and learn new skills related to technology.
So I think that's supposed to be started at the very foundation level. I think the law school itself supposed to institute these courses and these subjects in their very curriculum, so that they need to, like, they would be very well equipped by the time when they would be enrolled and would be able to discharge their services towards the clients. So I think these tools, these document automation, these e-discovery tools, case management softwares, these sort of courses supposed to be instituted at the school level, law school level, I mean. Then when it's about the AI understanding, I think the students also need to be very, very well equipped with about this data analysis and these predictive analysis using the AI tools. Then obviously cybersecurity, data privacy laws. Still, there are law schools in country where these courses are not the part of their curriculum, and in the upcoming times, these things are going to be a challenge. In fact, these things could be itself is a scope for the lawyers, budding lawyers who are coming into the profession. So these things are required to be taught at the school level, and as well as I think the bar council itself supposed to do something about it and supposed to train lawyers about these laws and as well as about these adaptability that they need to have for this continuous learning and for their effective growth.
Right. And any final thoughts that you have on our conversation today? Anything that you'd like to say to our listeners?
Well, I would say, like in a crux, the same thing, and I'll try to be precise this time. I think this intersection of law and technology has become one of the most exciting and a transformative areas. So, in this, I think these advancement which is being done, it is very important for a legal professional to recognize the technology doesn't replace lawyers. I think this thought is is very crucial, and it's supposed to be in everyone's, that it arguments their capabilities, allowing them to focus more on high level strategy. So yes, I think like the lawyers need to stay adaptable towards them, and they're supposed to upskill in the tech related areas, so that they can use this very technology not only to enhance their practice but also to uphold the ethical standard and the values which is required in this profession. Yes.
And last question then, where can our listeners connect with you and learn more about your work?
Well, I have a LinkedIn profile. I'm very active over there. Then I'm having an Instagram page as well. And other than that, I am practicing in the trial courts of Delhi. I'm having an office and as well as a chamber from where I'm mostly operating. So I think, like, by following me on Instagram and by following my LinkedIn profile, this way, like, I can remain connect to them, and I'm very open and very approachable.
Right. Thank you so much. That wraps up our conversation on how technology is changing legal practice. A huge thank you to you, Advocate Narendra Singh, for sharing such valuable insights on the intersection of law and technology. It's clear that while tech is streamlining processes and improving access to legal resources, it also brings new challenges about data privacy, security, and the human element in justice. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Well,
And
thank you so much to you as well for having me over here.
and just the last thing that I wanted to add was that as we look into the future, it's not about whether technology will transform legal practice. It's about how we adapt to ensure that innovation serves both legal profession and the broader goal of justice. So if you
True
enjoyed
that.
the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review and share it with
Sure.
anyone who'd find it useful. Thank you so much once again, Advocate.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to you as well.